Joining us now here in Denver is Lynn Helms, and you are the Department of Mineral Resources North Dakota Industrial Commission. You are the director of that group.
Yes, that's right. We are the regulatory agency for the state of North Dakota. So the Oil and Gas Division is under my supervision, as well as the Geological Survey. And so I'm the chief regulator for the state of North Dakota, overseeing this Bakken play that's been on the scene since 2006.
The purpose of you being here is talking about sustainability as well, and is new technology being used the proper way? What are your thoughts?
Well, we had a great panel discussion. We had someone from industry, someone from the economic and job side, and then myself talking about the sustainability of these resource plays. I was looking at it from a regulatory standpoint, public opinion, how you have to modify your regulations and move with the times, and how we've seen the Bakken develop in what we believe is a very sustainable fashion as it moves into phase 3, which will take decades of drilling to complete the final phase of drilling. So we're really looking at how you have to change your rules and regulations over time, along with the social license to operate, in order to have a sustainable industry in a state for several decades.
Well, that social license to operate, that's something that has certainly changed over the years. Is it difficult for you to keep up with the changes in that? And sustainability, of course, is key, and making sure that the environment is looked after?
It certainly is. I talked about the fact that when one of these plays enters what we call phase 2, which is you've now done the exploration and you recognize you've really got something, and you have to do that initial drilling to hold the leases by production, that they come on like a freight train and they push all of the infrastructure resources past the limit and then bring them back within those limits in phase 3. And so we're just ending phase 2 and going into phase 3. We saw our roads, our water systems, our housing, the patience of the local communities all tested to and beyond the limits. And so it's taken a great deal of effort on the part of policymakers and public policy people in the state of North Dakota to hold the thing together and then to bring us into this long-term development phase that we're entering now.
It's interesting because we're from Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta, and of course we've got Fort McMurray up in the oil sands, and that's one of the things they talk about there all the time as well, is that it just stretches the resources of the region in order to get the petroleum out of the ground.
Yes, absolutely, and we've seen every one of these resource plays has done the same thing. You talked about the Fort McMurray oil sands play. It did that. The Barnett Shale did it, the Haynesville Shale, Eagle Ford, Bakken, Haynes, they've all done it. They stretch the resources beyond the breaking limit, and then they relax into this sustainable mode, which is intended to go on for 2 or 3 decades of drilling and production. And of course, the production can extend for 4 or 5 decades beyond that. It always happens. The housing is overstressed. The roads and electrical systems, water systems, all of them go through this. And I think it's important that people entering resource plays understand that that is going to be the dynamic, that there are 3 phases to this development, and you need to work very hard in phase 2 so that you bring it safely into that 3rd sustainable phase.
You also mentioned that your state and Oklahoma are setting yourselves apart from the rest of the country. Tell us how you're doing that.
Well, I think the way we're doing that is in public-private partnerships. Oklahoma really pioneered this with the Oil Energy Resource Board, OERB. We copied that model for our North Dakota Oil and Gas Research Council. It creates public-private partnerships in the areas of education, research, data transmission to the industry and to the public, town hall meetings, TV commercials, radio commercials, all of that. It's great to have that public-private involvement because people trust it, and they get a message that's deep enough to help them understand. You get beyond this shallow argument phase into some real valuable information that you can share with people.
Lynn, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome, Rob.
We've been chatting with Lynn Helms right here on Can I Media.